Welcome aboard. It's a good Sunday, July 13th, 2020. We're just leaving the Conch House right now. Got a few people on board. We'll get to see them later. Maybe now. Just turns the camera. But we're going to have a good time going out to Fort Matanzas right now and just cruising. We'll show you the Lions Bridge in a minute, so stay tuned. So we started coming up on downtown St. Augustine, and the fort of downtown St. Augustine is to the right over here, and this is considered, I would say, the Bridge of Lions. Now every time I go to the boat, I'm typically stopped by some sailboat guy trying to get through, and it usually takes forever. But I'm gonna, the next couple clips, we're going to just show a couple of the bridges on our way to Fort Matanzas. So Fort Matanzas is south of St. Augustine and north of Marineland Marina. So if you hit Marineland Marina on your boat, you've gone slightly too far. You missed the turn into Fort Matanzas. And they redid this this bridge years back. My thoughts is they should have increased it to 4 lanes. Oh yeah, right here. So I didn't see that boat to the right coming through because he's blocked by the tower. So as I'm coming up the bridge, I don't need the bridge to open for me. But it starts to open, and I'm thinking there's a huge boat behind me. There's like a 100-foot boat right behind me. So right here, I put it in the neutral. I hit reverse, and I decide, well, it's not my turn yet to go through the bridge because he has priority over my passing. But it was nice to, see a couple big boats go by. More money than I can afford right now for a boat. But then again, I don't want a big boat. I want a smaller boat. Well, not too much of a smaller boat. Maybe less cabin space and lower to the ground, lower to the water. But that was definitely a sweet boat that passed right there. So yeah, as we come under, I mean, it's right now it's at low tide, so you have 21 feet clearance. My boat only needs 15 feet clearance, but it's cool to actually have it open as I'm going underneath it, because everybody else is like, oh, we gotta wait for that guy. And there's Captain Ron's boat for sale to the right. You can barely see it, but I do not want that boat. That's a lot of work. Actually, I don't want a sailboat. I'm not a sailboat guy, especially a sailboat that's made out of wood, basically. But as you can see here, Christie's down there. Andrew is there as well, at the front of the boat, just hanging out as we're driving on by. And that the mooring field to the St. Augustine Marina is to the right. So where that Captain Ron's boat, I call it Captain Ron's boat. Where Captain Ron's boat is the city marina. And then the mooring field, this is the south mooring field. Before we went through the bridge, it was the north mooring field. And that's where I typically anchor out. So we're in for about a 2-hour cruise through this trip. I say 2 hours. I was going really slow. I was going like 8 knots, and Megan said it took us an hour and a half, but I think it really took us about 2 hours to actually get from my dock to our anchor spot over at Fort Matanzas. So I just wanted to show you guys some scenery on the way of what it looks like in St. Augustine as you pass going southbound, passing the bridge of Lions. And the next bridge coming up, so that was the first bridge. We have 2 more bridges to go under before we get there. So I'll let you look at some scenery for a few seconds, and we'll be at the next bridge in just a second. would definitely have to stay in the channel. It's definitely important because it gets pretty shallow outside the channel markers going southbound. So intercoastal southbound, stay in the channel. That's my recommendation for you. So this is the 312 bridge. So you have the Bridge of Lions and the next bridge over, which doesn't open because it's 63 feet approximately, depending on tide. And I mean, I'm only 15 feet, so a lot of bigger boats can get through there. But that was definitely a nice bridge to go under. It's just too far for me to bypass the Bridge of Lions to go south in a car to get to my boat. So I never really drive over the 312 bridge. But the next bridge is farther away. Basically, it's a little bit farther away, and this is the Crescent City Bridge. I used to cross this bridge a lot because my boat was at Marineland Marina. Basically, 6 miles south of this bridge is Marineland Marina. So the Crescent City Bridge, we don't have to open up. So the only bridge I would have to open up is if I went south to Palm Coast. There'd be a bridge that is about 10 feet tall that I have to get opened up, but this isn't that bad. So from this bridge, Fort Matanzas is only about 3 miles away. So so stay tuned for that. 3-mile little cruise. And it's basically a bunch of nothingness going down this road. And all these wave runners, by the way. So these jet skis, I mean, I wasn't too irritated with them because they kept going. Oh, that's Fort Matanzas to the right. That, as you can see, that building to the right is the Fort of Matanzas. If you actually visit the Fort Matanzas, you have to go to the left where the visitor center is, and then you take a little boat ride over, and they have a little dock there, and then you can walk it. We've been there a few times, so it wasn't cool. It was really cool, but yeah, they weren't harassed. These wave runners weren't harassing anybody at all. So they're in like swarms. They're like bees. Can't get rid of them. So, but they were all right. There's definitely a lot of boats over at the Fort Matanzas Inlet. Yeah, as you can see here, I don't know the historical significance of how many times this fort's been attacked or if it ever fell. I don't think it ever fell to enemy during each occupation because they had direct line of sight to the inlet, and they were able to blast anything that came through it. Now the inlet is very shallow right now. It's like 1 or 2 feet, so not very many boats can get through it, especially at low tide. But if anybody comes through St. Augustine, definitely visit Fort Matanzas. You'll definitely enjoy it. I mean, it is kind of a hot summer right now, but maybe when it cools down a little bit, because you'll be outside sweating, sweating out there, and that's typically what I do nowadays, is just sweat a lot. So, yep. And the water gets crystal clear out here. It's definitely really, really nice. So we made it to Fort Matanzas, and let me give you the the tour of it. So this is the inlet, which no one can go out of because it's really, really shallow over here. But you have a lot of swimmers. It's a really nice area. So I don't want to get any closer. It's not worth beaching the boat to get any closer to shore. So what we're doing is we're just gonna drop the dinghy for Batman, so Batman can go to shore. But we're just gonna be hanging out today. My battery says really low, so I don't know how much footage I can actually get out here. But yeah, we're good, and stay tuned. Should I take him out once? Hey, Batman, come here. Come here. After I get my suntan lotion on.
You did.
Say hello to Megan and Christy. They can hear you.
Oh, good. Where's my quote?
Alright, she wants a quote of the day, so
Yep.
I'll have to get back with you on a quote of the day at the end of the video, so you have to stay tuned for that one.
Be a friggin' quote at the end of this damn video.
Anything else you have to say for the camera there, Christy?
No, I just want my quote.
Alright, well, we'll get your quote, alright?
Alright.
So, as you can see here, we have lots of boats, lots of jet skis, at the Fort Matanzas. So Fort Matanzas is right over there. Boom. Oh yeah, Batman's aboard, so let's go down and look at him real quick. So I told you guys, Batman is the boat dog. And check this out before we do that. We had the dinghy tied to the rope from the dinghy davit, so perfect setup. Just throw it down, tie it off. Batman's hanging with Drew. Batman, say hi to YouTube. Oh, he wants to come out. I'll let it come out. Come on, up. Whoa. Don't fall, buddy. Ah. Okay, up, up. Come on, now up this way. This way. Go up. Go.
Different people now. With the white and black.
Hey, buddy. Say hi to everybody.
Batman! Oh, there's watching.
Hey, buddy. He'll jump in. Maybe not from this high up, but he loves it. Come on, buddy. Come over here. Come on.
I had an elderly patient. She just came in last week and she said, my first time being out.
Oh, he wants to go out to shore. No, you gotta go back inside, buddy. Come on. Come on, go back inside. Alright, so this is how Tony drives his boat, with his feet. See here, I'm just cruising along, and check out there. So, if anybody wants to know how to drive a boat, just ask Captain Tony. Captain Tony drives with the feet because it's kind of uncomfortable standing. Got this nice cool breeze going. So, we'll talk with you back at the Conch House Marina. Sweet. So I made it back to the house. We had a great day on the water all day. Went to the boat around 7:30, started everything up, and headed on out for the day. It was definitely a great day on the water. So my quote of the day, which was requested by a certain Christy earlier today, that there's been a few videos that didn't have a quote of the day, so every video has to have a quote of the day. So here we go. Annie Van de Wiley, and this is a boating quote. The art of the sailor is to leave nothing to chance. Now, some sailors or boaters, they just get in their boat and go. They're like, it's a boat. I bought a boat. I'm gonna go. I don't leave anything to chance. Like, for instance, today, I plotted out the course to Fort Matanzas Inlet, and that inlet is not really an inlet that you can use as a boater because it's very, very shallow. And I used my map charts to actually chart out the specific location that I was going to anchor my boat, the exact location. And I gave myself a couple hundred yards because I have the dinghy with the engine, and I can just go to shore like you saw in the video. So I left nothing to chance today. I anchored out, and I realized that my anchor held the entire time, no problems. And I think when we got there, it was a little bit above. It was a rising tide, so it was about 7 feet and went up to about 12, or it was 8 feet and went up to about 12 feet. So, and the only thing I would change is move the boat closer, a couple hundred feet, because there's a lot of jet skis and boats passing by, going to the sand, going to the shore on the right side, the starboard side of me, as I was parked. And we did see a couple of big boats come in. A Meridian, which is basically like a Meridian and a 47-foot Carver, basically looked similar. And we saw one of those come in. He just circled, and it said Palm Coast on the back as his port and call. So he was probably just checking it out and going back to Palm Coast or whatnot. So, and there was a Regal, a new Regal, which was it was a smaller Regal. It was like a 30-foot Regal. But it was nice. It had a really awesome top area, and the bottom area, had a little cabin, but I kind of want a 40-foot boat or 42-foot boat with a bow and stern thruster. And I left nothing to chance again today with docking. So the wind and current were going to be against us docking, and I didn't film this part of it. So before we left the dock, I gave everybody a mission, a job to do. So one person on the engine platform, one person standing up midship. And I said, you get this line, you get this line. These lines aren't to be tied off. You're just there to hold the boat close to the dock. So when I back the boat in, you pull the boat and hold the boat against the dock so I can come down and handing you the lines and tying off, because that current was ripping. The wind was a south wind and a south current. And there's no pole. So think of this as a pole. There's no middle pole to stop my boat from hitting the next boat, or just going over into the next slip. I really don't like that slip because of that. I think they cheaped out on not installing that mid pylon, because you have to have deckhands at all times, because that current rips, and the way the boats are, it's always perpendicular to the boat. So even if you do it perfectly back in, like I said, you still have 30 seconds of time before the current and wind rips you out of your slip. So if you can't get deckhands and people to tie you off, you're gonna have to be redoing it. So that's my quote of the day and pearls of wisdom of the day. So I'll leave you with that. I'm drinking my Corona Extra in the highlight of Corona times. That's good. Actually, that's about half of it already. Wow. Anyways, like and subscribe if you like these videos. We're going to do more this week, and I'll be talking with you. Ciao.